How to remove the pouring group. Turn the machine off. To access the dispensing group, open the door, remove the grounds drawer, and remove the coffee hoppers by undoing the safety screw. Pouring group removal is in 6 easy steps. Remove the top cover by undoing the 4 screws on the top panel with a 3mm Allen key. Remove the nozzle, clip and top piston of the group. Loosen the 4 screws on the front of the panel with a Phillips screwdriver and remove it by sliding down. Disconnect the motor, heating element and probe. Unhook the water supply pipe by loosening the fixing ring. Remove hoppers for the grinder or grinders. Remove the 4 3mm Allen screws holding the group to the structure and remove from above by opening the grinder hoppers. Group motor removal can also be done with a mounted delivery group. Simply remove the 2 screws at the top of the group using a Phillips screwdriver. Heating element and probe removal is very easy. Loosen the 2mm set screw. Undo the Phillips screw that fixes the probe. Remove the components from the group. Movement screw and bearings removal. After removing the group and the motor, you can release the worm screw by undoing the 3 2.5mm Allen screws on top of the support group. The worm screw is at the back of the infusion chamber. The bearings are part of the worm screw. To replace or clean the bearings, remove the nut and support nut using 2 14mm wrenches. Then, remove the first bearing, the support, and then the second bearing. When refitting these parts, the service engineer should take care to correctly position the first worm screw bearing, which has 2 washers with a grooved part inside and the balls in the center. The next step is to insert the bushing inside the support, and then to insert the support into the worm screw. Fit the second bearing and the first nut, then tighten with a 14 wrench. Make sure that the movement is correct and check the clearance of the support. Slide on the nut support and tighten with a 14mm double wrench. Again, make sure that the movement is correct and check the clearance of the support. Lubricate the bearings and bushing with Nova Simonelli silicone lubricant. Infusion chamber removal. The bringing chamber can be reached by removing the group, the motor and the worm screw. Pull out the 2 runners by removing 2 3mm Allen screws and the 2.5mm one on the worm screw cover. The nut is at the back of the infusion chamber. To remove, undo the 4 screws in the group's lower support. Blade ejector worm screw and blade ejector removal. The blade ejector worm screw is located on the lower support bracket of the group. Once the pouring group has been removed, it's possible to take out the worm screw by removing the 2 screws on the base with a Phillips screwdriver. To remove the blade ejector, it's necessary to undo the screw with a 3mm Allen wrench. Gently turn the blade to free it from the shaft and slide the shaft out from the bottom. The spring is secured to the blade ejector shaft and infusion chamber. When refitting, the engineer will have to reposition the shaft. Preload the spring by 1.5 turns using the blade. Add a drop of Loctite to the screw and tighten the 3mm Allen screw.